What is up? Welcome back to another one of these videos. Today we're playing more 14 Minesweeper variants. And my goal now that we've kind of unlocked all the plus, or the 8+ category, is we are going to be going for some more of these. We're going to be trying to start working on getting our double exclamation marks in. So we will just go ahead and start working towards that right now. I guess the first one I can go for is, since I already have some of them done for wall, I'll work towards this real quick. So let's go and start. These puzzles are some of the most difficult ones in the game, so exciting times indeed. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. So regardless where we put it for this one, we then get that this one up here will always be a mine. Cool. I guess in either case we also get this one is not a mine. Alright. Yeah. Full disclosure, I am recording this in a sleepy time of my life, so just be prepared for that, I guess. Things are going to be maybe... it still should be fine. It might just be a bit less energetic than usual, who can say? I guess I don't know if I'm particularly energetic in these videos in the first place, but yeah. Well. So, let's just see. Well, I guess something actually we can figure out regardless on this one is, we know both of these must be mines. We also know that one will not be a mine. So then that gives us one mine over here. We also know there will be one mine up here, which means there has to be one mine down there as well. Cool. I don't know how helpful that one is right now. Maybe it will be. Okay, so here we'll just do this. And... no, maybe it'd be more useful to think about like this case right here, right? Because then we know, regardless, there's going to have to be a group of 2 going up through one of these, like maybe this or something. Or it could be, I guess... well, no, it can't be that, so it has to be, yeah, this kind of pairing here. If we instead assume there's one here, then this kind of opens it up a bit more, but something I guess we can notice is that either way, both of those will be mines. Cool. I was worried for a second that that one was going to just not be correct, and I would have been very sad if that were the case. So I guess... the red case, we get that there is not going to be one there, but we also then know that there has to be one up here, which then gives us that. Interesting. Okay. Oh, well, actually, hold on. No, I'm being silly. We just know that this is the case now, given that we're working with wall. Cool. We can then fill in all this. Sorry, there isn't a lot for me to really comment on, honestly, with some wall stuff. This variant is... I don't know. I don't feel like it's ever super challenging, at least on its own, I guess, even in, like, harder modes. I mean, I haven't done double exclamation mark yet, so maybe I will actually end up finding out I'm wrong on that, but I'm not sure. Well, I guess at least it isn't one that trips me up as much. Some other ones I feel like I do work on, and they mess me up a little bit. Okay, so either way we know this one's not one. No, really. Huh. Oh, wait, no, I think that if I'm in a situation like this... well, no, hold on. I should be able to. If I'm in this situation, I would always know that the 2 group must go over there. So I guess then it must be something about this case, huh? Then we always get this... oh, wait, no, I'm being silly. In that case, there has to be one there. Whereas in the case where... yeah. Okay, never mind. That was just bad on my part. That's okay. At least something we could see in the red one, just because we know in this case that, given there's only one over there, the 2 groups are always going to have to be something like that. We then know that there can only be, at most, one here, but also that there has to be one there as well. Whereas in this yellow case... so we get... okay, so here's the actual thing we can deduce is that, it looks like. Yeah, cool. So then in the yellow case, we get... there have to be at least these. So then that just tells us those are both always the case. And cool, from here we can just finish up that 5. Just go and unmark that real quick. Finish off this 2. And then we can also just finish off all of these clues. Like such. And yeah, it looks like so far we're doing pretty good. Okay. Yeah, I think it's just the case that this one always has to go here. If it doesn't, then we don't actually have enough room to fit everything. So we can go ahead and mark in all of this stuff.
Okay, good. If you're wondering why my mouse went a bit weird there, I actually accidentally clicked the left click button, but I was able to hold it down and move over the mouse before it registered, so I didn't get hit for a misclick. That would have been very sad indeed.
But that's okay.
Cool. Okay, so we know there's always going to be one there, which tells us there's one there. I guess I can mark what I'm kind of thinking. I'm thinking we always know there's going to be a row 3 like that or something, so we'll just put something down there, something down here, which also tells us that as well. Cool. Okay, so I don't know how helpful that one's really going to be right now. Well, I guess something that we do know with this one now is it's always going to be some pattern like this, or the inverse, where it goes around like that. But then we know in this case, it must be one down there, right? Because if it was there, then that would finish off the 1-1, but then we don't have enough to fit around here. And what else does that tell us? Well, I'm not completely sure. I guess also gives us this. Yeah, okay. And that means that in either case, like we also know that in the yellow case, you're going to be in a similar position where there has to be at least one here. We know there can't be ones in either of those two positions. Okay, the red case is now impossible. It would imply that this 1-1 has to be broken, or the 1-3 above it has to be broken. Either way, not happening. So, cool. We can then mark in all of this stuff. I can just finish off all of these. 2 is also finished. Cool. And yeah. So from here, it looks like it should be fairly pleasant. Not really a lot going on, just beyond, I guess, just clicking through a lot more of the standard style of deduction in this variant. There we go. Cool. Puzzle finished. Okay, nice. But yeah, I don't know. Something I've also been messing around with on this game lately, because admittedly I've been doing this a lot more on my own time, just beyond the confines of this channel ever since the update has come out. So I have been working a lot on the ultimate mode, and maybe after I'm done unlocking this stuff, I'll just spend the rest of my time doing these on that mode, just because I found it very intriguing. I guess I know there always has to be one up there at least, but yeah, it is interesting. It definitely, there are some variants on it that are incredibly annoying, like a lot of the weird combination variants, for instance, given that you need to get every combination, or every possible deduction, are like really tricky. But there are a lot of variants on it that also are, generally it like works as good, I guess, practice for, or something. I don't know. I might be starting to do speedruns of it in the future, especially like when it comes more towards the summer. Okay, also blue case is just impossible for this. When it gets more towards the summer, which for me is happening in like, I guess the week after posting will be my finals week for like my classes and stuff, university, so I guess that'll be happening sooner rather than later for me. But yeah, I might like work more towards speedrunning that. Oh, I'm silly, I forgot about that one over there. That's okay. So again, we have this one's mine, neither of those are, and we also got both of these. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I gotta focus up though if I want to do this stuff properly. Okay. So that could be a 3 over here, that would imply this. Alternatively, if that one's not 3, then we get both of these as part of the 3, which also implies that, so we know this and this. There we go. Cool. Yeah, a lot of these deductions are, I guess that one required a bit more thought, but yeah, no, there are definitely some variants of this, like, vanilla exclamation mark, honestly, actually requires, like, a lot more, I guess, not concentration, but it's more complicated than, honestly, I initially thought it would be before I actually went and did it. But there are some variant combinations like this where it really isn't. I wonder if this one's not going to involve counting. It looks like it might, right? So we know there's going to be one up here, 2 in this general region, third one over here, 3 more in this region, so that puts us up to 2, 3, hold on, I should make this a bit more clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, no, it doesn't require counting, it doesn't look like. That means there must be some way that I can break this group. I guess I can just start experimenting with some stuff. If I do this, then that puts these over here. Okay, I think I see what the actual issue would be. Let's say I put one up here. Then we get neither of these, which then tells me that, and yep, that breaks stuff. Cool. I don't know why this thing's being so laggy. It might be because, I don't know, the beta mode, which has like stuff like ultimate mode and stuff like in there, has been a bit more buggy than the base game, which I guess kind of makes sense. Like, they are adding in more features and stuff. I guess I am also currently rendering a different video on this computer right now, so that could also be contributing to some, like, potential slowdown. I don't think it should be a huge deal, though. This computer is decently strong, even if it is just, like, a laptop. It's served me well so far, at least, so hopefully it will not decide to break now. I'm not sure, but yeah, as you can see, we're just kind of going through a lot of, I would almost say, like, the motions with this. Like, there really hasn't been any deductions in here yet that have required too much from me, but that might be about to change. So I guess let's see, if that one's not mine, then we get mines in both of these positions, which then says that none of these will be mines. And also both of those and that. Okay. Versus if we do have a mine here, then we get, oops, then we get both of these, and then that also tells me that one up there cannot be a mine. Cool. So then in the yellow case, we know it has to be those two specifically. So it's that. In the red case, it has to be this one and this group right here. And does the red case actually work? Yeah, it does, but barely. What it just tells me is either way, that one will be a mine. Cool. There we go. So then we know it is the yellow case that we're dealing with. And just click through all of those deductions we already made, technically. Yeah, okay, cool. There's that puzzle done. It might also just be that I'm much more used to, like, the difficulty of the large, like, combination puzzles, which I believe are just generally more difficult than the normal ones. For most combinations, there are some, like, balance cross sometimes actually gives you more information because you're in balance as a context, especially on smaller boards, which is kind of fun, but yeah. Okay. I guess maybe something that would be worthwhile is to look into, like, what happens if I set, and we can just set it to be an arbitrary one up here. So I don't know if this will really cause problems. It doesn't completely look like it, but no, it really doesn't. I was hoping it might give me more insight into what to look into, but it doesn't really seem like it will. I guess something else I can consider is there isn't a way, like with a group of 4, there's not a way to avoid that one at the very least. Okay, what happens if we instead assume this one is a mine? Then we know that the group of 2 will either be there or here. Either way, I guess we know that this one's always also a mine, because now the difference between these is 1, so I can mark in all of these as non-mines. And I think that's more or less it, whereas if we assume this one isn't a mine, then we get something that looks like that. And, oh wait, no, that works fine, but I'm wondering if this could lead me towards anything, right? Because then we know that that one also has to be mine, and this one up here. I guess I'm not really sure, because, well, I guess in that case this one can't be mine, because if it was, then it would have to extend downwards for this one too, which isn't allowed. So we get that one at least is not ever a mine. This also tells us now that in the yellow case, that one must be a mine, whereas in the red case. So I guess either way, then we know that this one's not a mine here. Then that also gives us both of those just for free because we've restricted the size on it, and cool, there you go. Oh wait, no, man, I am not having a good time right now with my vision with this game, to be honest. That was not great. Okay. So let's see, we know none of those are ones. Then from here, I think we're able to find from this position, first of all, that one's a mine, that this one over here couldn't, nope. Dang. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna have to re-go through that logic real quick. That is a shame. Oh well. But yes, let's go click that real quick. Alright, it was the case that regardless, if we put it here, then we know that we have 1, 2 here, then we know there still has to be 1 in there. Versus if we put it here, then we know that this one cannot be 1. How do we determine with the yellow one that can be 1? I think we might have needed something else to determine that. Oh wait, no, with the yellow one, we knew that this one had to be a mine, right? Because now the difference between these two is just 1. So I guess either way, we can see that... Yeah, wait, hold on. No, in the red case, it wasn't that one that wasn't a mine. It was this one up here that wasn't a mine. Yes, there we go. Okay, cool. So now then, it was with this then. In the yellow case, then, yep, that's where we got that this one's never a mine. Which now, given that we know that is a mine, allows me to make the correct actual deduction right there, which is good. Okay. And then from here we know there's only 1 over there, so that means that's it. We can then fill in all of this stuff right here. And we can also get that this one will be a mine. That one's already finished, so we can then finish off this whole grid right here. And cool. Okay. And then we know either way it's going to be some pairing like this or like that. Either way, both of the ones up there will be it because... Well, no, I guess we... Yeah, no, we can't have like a group of 3 up here because then this one doesn't have enough, so we know it's going to be something like that or that. Yes. Yeah, cool. Okay. We can then fill in both of those just from what we already have. And this will just finish off that region, finish up this region. And there we go. Puzzle is solved. Okay, cool. We only got 1 more of these. And afterwards, I'm not sure if I'll try one of the double exclamation mark ones or if I'll unlock a different category. Maybe I will just do one of the double exclamation mark ones as, like, a way to kind of at least get, like, do something beyond just unlocking things. Might be a nice way to, like, cap things off. With the, or at least, well, I don't actually know if we'll be capping off, honestly. This video hasn't really been going on for a while. Okay, yeah, that breaks things. As I kind of suspected it might. Usually with like these kind of pairings, the general strategy is just to try and knock out as many of the mines around one of these groups using like the multiple ones. I don't know if that was completely coherent, but that's okay. Okay. Now we can, I guess, do something similar with this. We then get an exact range for this stuff. And no, it appears to be fine. Okay. I wonder if there's, like, maybe it'd be worthwhile just to check each of the things around this one. Okay, this one breaks things at least, because it doesn't leave enough room to fit in everything around this set of 3 ones right there. And is there anything else? Well, I guess we can try the same thing here. Yeah, that once, well, yes, this once again breaks it as well. Cool. So now we have something like this. Oh wait, no, I'm just being bad. That one was already there, so we could just solve all of these things, solve all of that, solve this region, and do that as well. Cool. Okay. Oh my goodness. Man, my vision is atrocious right now. Who can say, I don't know if I'm ready for the double exclamation mark after what's been happening. But we should still be fine, I think, with that. Good enough to proceed, at least. Yeah. I don't know. It's just a general life thing that I guess has happened is like, earlier today I went out to Olive Garden with some of my friends. It was a good time, but also, that place definitely puts you into a food coma after you're done there. Maybe this wasn't the best choice or time for recording. We'll see. Ultimately, I guess I'm already started now, though, so I'm not going to just finish. Or rather, I'm not going to choose not to record. Right. You know, already in the grind set. Okay, cool. So now I've unlocked W double exclamation mark, and we can see kind of how one of these puzzles goes. Cool. We know either way that one's going to be a mine as well. And, okay. Something I guess we can try to do real quick is just run through each of the possibilities and see what things they have in common.
So that's one of them. This is the other one. We then get neither of those, which then gives us both of these and nothing there. And, okay. Oh, I'm not completely, sure here. I guess one thing we can note is that either way there will be one mine over here and one mine over here in the yellow case. In addition to there just generally being one mine there. I wonder if we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Now there's enough where we can use like a mine count argument right now.
With the yellow case at least. I don't think so in the red case either, to be honest. I guess one thing we do know for the red case is that either way there will be one mine in here. Right? Yes. And through a similar argument we know there's going to be one mine over there. I wonder if that gives us anything. I'm not sure.
It might be more worthwhile to try and think about where the other like mines in this region could be, because either way there will be at least one.
Let's see, so we could put it up here, in which case we get none of those. That gives us all of this stuff as well. Cool. If we instead put it here, that once again gives us this kind of structure, but with a little bit less information, it seems like. Well, I guess not really. Either way, we've seen that this one is implied not to be a mine. And lastly, if it's down here, then that tells us there isn't one here, there isn't one here. I'm not sure. I guess we also know there isn't one there either, which then tells us it's both of these. So I think that's just the case that this one always is mine, that one isn't. Yeah, cool. We can mark that, finish off that clue, and then looks like it might, I don't know if it'll start unraveling necessarily, but it looks like it's getting kind of close. Okay, now it might be worthwhile to use more of a mine count argument, right? Because we know there's 2 mines in this region, and then that means there's 3 up here. There's going to be 1 in this group, so that means 1, 2, not 1 there. Given that there's 1 in one of these 2, if it's up there, then we can't actually put the 3rd one for this around, so we know it'd be something like that. There we go. Cool. So, also I should mention, to get gold on these, you only actually need to do 1 puzzle from them, so we actually could realistically just get through all of these. And maybe then I'll do a hard-connected one as well, because I haven't gotten any of them. Or rather, for 8x8, I haven't gotten any of them. I've gotten them for, like, other ones, but not for that. So, let's see. We then know for this that there can be at most 1 up here, which I think means then that if this one is a mine, it can't go up. If it goes over, then we can see that that breaks this, this breaks this 1 by 2, because it would have to have that, but it doesn't work, as I'm sure you could see from my diagrams, hopefully. Okay, so then we get 1 in this group right here. I guess there are 2 possibilities. One of them is it's something like, something like this, I guess?
No, not necessarily, actually. Alright, because we always know that one of the groups is going to be, like, here, right? So it could either be this, or it could be something like this, where we just put an extra 1 up there. And those are really the only 2 possibilities. And it could be, like, mirrored on either side. Yeah. Okay. So then I wonder if it's more worthwhile to think about maybe what this one up here implies in general, right? So then we get this group right here that tells us there's 1 in here. Well, is this even possible? Hold on. No, I don't believe this is it? Because, yeah, we can't get a really group of 1 by 2 in here. So that means that there is 1 up here. It has to be alone, I believe. Yes. Okay. So yeah, then we can get this right here, and then we can get that. Whereas if there is not 1 up here, then we know that there won't be 1 in either of these 2 positions, right? Because, yes, the difference must be the same. So then we get that this one, in either case, does not have a mine. Cool. And I guess then we can consider in the red case, these mines go around like this. Do we get anything else from the red case? Well, we also knew that both of these ones were mines, so that actually just finishes off that. And, okay, that might have been the more relevant piece of information. Right, because in this case, we know this one still needs a 2 region, so that would have to be here, but then that puts us into this scenario. I have 1, 2, 1, 2, so either way, both of those must be mines, and this one's also finished. Okay, I can just click my way through now. Cool. Alright, now let's go for 7x7. Something else to note with these is they also have much fewer puzzles. Like, that one's like 9. Oh, that one has 31 for some reason, though this one's 10. Weird, but, you know, okay. Well, so yeah, but they're definitely a bit more limited with what you can get. Something else I want to note for this one is we can't ever actually have it like not hit this cell at least. Like that's just a given. It also has to go over here, given that we actually know it's now a group of 3 over here. 1 in this region here, which means none in either of those. And okay, cool. So now then I guess we can consider a few things. One of them is the difference between these two regions, because I think both of them should tell us that this one up here is not a mine, right? If this one isn't a mine, then we get this exact group, which also gives us that information. I guess this other red one also tells us that, but we already would have known that regardless. And it actually looks like the red case might be impossible because it requires all of these. So we can actually just only consider the yellow case. Cool. We also can mark that, and then we get both of these. This one's finished, so we can fill in that. And we can fill in this as well. That one's done, so we can kind of go through here and just get all of these in general. Go up here like that, and cool. Okay, and then for this region, that's the only way we can fill it out. If we tried to do something like that, it would have to extend outwards for the 1, 2, 2, and that would break things. So that clue looks strange. I don't know why I've never seen that pairing of numbers in this clue, but it does not look very aesthetically pleasing, I think. Well, I digress enough. Let's go ahead and move on to the final frontier of wall puzzles. As we can see, these frontiers they're doing okay. I don't know. I definitely think that wall is, ultimately, I think at least really this confirms that I think wall is just one of the easier variants, which isn't really a problem, to be honest. I like that the difficulty between them vary by some degree. But, yeah, it definitely isn't as much of a challenge as something like Connected, for instance. That one is extremely harsh on the highest difficulty, as I guess we'll see later, because I think that's what I'm going to be doing after this. Okay. This is something I could have just gotten without doing case splitting. But that's okay. Ultimately, I don't really think this case analysis thing has really gotten us a lot here, which is kind of a shame, but, you know, it happens. We'll just get rid of that then. So I wonder if it has something more to do with what's happening with this stuff right here, right? Because we always know there's going to be at least one down here. So I guess we can just think about what happens if we put mines in different positions up here and see if that, changes anything. Correct, because then this gives us all of this stuff, which then just gives me that. Cool. Versus if we put a mine here, then we know neither of these will be mines. This one will also be mine. And, okay, we can see either way this one's not a mine, which I think is the critical thing from here. But I guess real quick, just for posterity, I'll fill out the rest of the stuff on here to be sure that I'm not, potentially missing anything. Okay. So now in the red case, we know that we are much more restricted on where we put certain things, I guess. Yes. Okay. Maybe it's actually more worthwhile just to think about where the 2 is in this 1-2 pair, right? There are a few possibilities. One of them is here again. So we can then mark in this like such, and that gives us this kind of position. Which, hard to tell. I know there's going to have to be at least 1 in this group here, just from the way that this 2 or 1-1 2 clue works. We can't ever get away with less. And that's just a good thing to keep in mind. I don't think it's going to come into relevance quite yet, but maybe. This is one of the other possibilities where we put it right here. But I'm not actually completely sure where this situation really lead us to, because it seems kind of ambiguous as to where it is for this. And then the last case, we also have this, where we just put the 2 going in like that. Okay, I'm not sure precisely if this is really, or I guess if this has gotten us much of anything at all. It's looking like it might not have. Which is okay. I guess, yeah, and I assume that something like this isn't going to cause a contradiction or anything, but it's always worthwhile to check, I guess, since none of our cases really put anything up there. Alright, given that we know there's 1 down there, what does that tell us? I guess it could maybe be something like this, but that would then imply that, which doesn't work. Okay, hold on. I wonder if it's the case that there can be anything down here. Let's assume there is something down here for now. So there are two possibilities for what it is with this 1, 2. Either it is a 2 or it's a 1, which is really self-explanatory. First case, it's a 2, or rather it's a 1. Second case, it's a 2, and we'll just make it be going in either direction. Okay, so here, we'll just mark in this stuff real quick. So, first of all, if this one is a 1 in the case of this 2, then we know there must be a 2 somewhere on here. I'm not sure, I guess there's a restriction where it can't be here specifically, but it could be both here or down here, interestingly enough. I guess if it is over here, then that implies this kind of thing, which doesn't seem terrible, and I'm going to have to introduce another case for if it's over here. This case breakdown isn't looking nearly as good now. But that's okay. We thrive regardless, so. And then in this one we get something like that, which gives us all of this, correct? Because if there isn't a purple one down here, we already finished off this 2, so that means there's a group of, like, 1 mine in here and 1 mine up there. That mine up there means that the other mine for this one has to be here, which gives us all of that. So now then, in the other yellow case, yeah, we're also sufficient, right? Or not self-sufficient, but we are correct, I believe. Yes, cool. Okay, so now in the red case, this 2 is already finished. That gives us no mine there, which also tells us there has to be a mine up there. Just by like a difference argument, really. And okay. Now then, I don't believe it's possible to avoid there being a mine in one of these 2 positions, so we know that one's not a mine, which in other words tells us that this one is a mine, which breaks things, so we know that it can't be going in that direction. The red case does not work. I'll just put an X for that because I don't want to try erasing things. And lastly, we get the blue case, which once again we know there will have to be 1 here, which tells us none there. Then that gives 1 here, which then means the other one must be here, which then gives that. Okay. So it looks like the red case is the only one in there to really break, per se, which is fine. Okay. Maybe that one wasn't where I should be looking then. Yeah, I'm not sure. This one is admittedly actually living up to what I feel like one of these puzzles should, which is a good thing. I'm looking for this to be a challenging endeavor. I guess here's something we can see, though. What happens if we put 1 here, maybe? I don't know if this is going to break anything, but it very well may, at least. Right, okay, so we then need to keep in mind there's 1 here. There's also 1 here, which means there's only 1 here. And if we get that, then, let's see, 1, that means we need another 3 up here. Something like this or whatever. Okay. Yeah, this seems perfectly plausible. I wonder then if it's worth it just to look into stuff like if there's 1 in the middle or whatever. Except, I think we already showed that that one's fine with our blue case, so I wonder what other positions there are that might be able to be broken. So I guess we could try something like if there isn't a mine in a certain position, like what if this one's empty or whatever, right? Then we get that. Well, I don't know if this one being empty gives us anything. Maybe something like this might? Maybe. Yeah, it is hard to tell. Okay. So I guess something I could just do is mark that. And that is most of what we know. We also know that there's 1 in here. We also know that there will then be 1 on here as well, which implies 1 in here. So actually maybe I'll keep these ones for a breakdown. Okay. Yeah, cool. And I believe that this one also works fine for things, right? Like, I don't think, at least I don't recall this one running into problems, but maybe with our 1, 2 it now does. Because we know then there's 1 in here, which means there have to be 2 somewhere in this region, but that doesn't actually tell us precisely where. Like, it could be something like this, for instance, or this even. So it could be any one of those possibilities. So then maybe it'd be worthwhile just to check all of them out, I guess. Just keeping in mind that we'll just keep the slashes the same. So first of all, what happens if these are both mines? And we have 1 in there, which is expected. That one doesn't seem to do anything. If these are both mines, then that one goes up like that, because we need to finish off the 1, 2. And that's about it. And if they're both here, then we once again get 1 up there. In this case, so we know that one isn't 1. In the blue case, we know that
these two aren't ones. And in the yellow case, we don't get any information, I guess, from that, really. Okay, no. Yeah, no, this step is being pretty tricky. Alright. Let's see where else I guess I could really look for this, because I feel like I've checked out a few things. I feel like there has to be something involving, the last thing I got was this clue, I believe. So unless I'm missing something obvious somewhere else, which maybe I am at this point, I think there has to be some other area that we could look, perhaps. So, okay. Let's just think. We know the other possibility is this, which is all well and good, which actually also means, can this one down here ever be one? Let's assume it were, right? Then we know that there isn't one here, there is not one here, which implies all of this stuff. Then we get this, but okay, that breaks it. Man, that is... yeah, that's definitely where I need to go with that. Okay, cool. It took a bit, but we got there in the end, I guess. Dang, that was tragic. Well. So in this case, we then get this setup, keeping in mind there needs to be one in there, which then gives us all of this stuff. If that's the direction it goes, if it instead goes upwards, then that gives us this. So what this is telling us basically is that either we haven't been able to yet reduce one of the possibilities down. Well, I guess we have at least been able to get rid of one thing, though. We've been able to confirm that this one now can never be one either. There we go. I think that just breaks open the puzzle, more or less, because, yeah, we can just kind of click through a lot of the clues now. I wasn't going to bother putting those in. Those are all just basically putting in information, not in a way where it was requiring much deduction, just more so clicking, and my current level of awareness does not make me trust myself as much, especially when there's, stuff on the board and we just got a deduction finished. Cool. So, there we go. Alright, nice. We have gone through one of all the walls. Now, I guess this video is a bit long, but I guess to finish it all off, you can see connected there are, actually 100 puzzles of these, which is interesting, because, quad, I think... Well, no, it does as well. We're going to do one of these. These ones are tricky. I'm not sure if I've already started this one or not. Nope, this is just what it starts with. Okay, cool. So we can put in all of this stuff, first of all. And now we will begin to think about where we could go with this. Okay. So, I guess one thing that we could immediately start thinking about is, where does this path actually need to go? Because this will kind of determine, how able we are to deduce things, right? We know it needs to go in here, but it's already made it there. It also needs to get up there at some point, but if it's in here, then it can, not trivially, but it seems like it could get up to the floor without much difficulty. Also needs to make it over to the other side. I don't really see any super great choke points right now, which is a bit unfortunate, but something I could try out is just seeing if something like this causes problems, because this seems like it might. Hard to tell. So anyway, then it has to go up here. And I guess it could just stop in there, or it could continue going further. It seems like that one might be fine. I also wonder if it's something like with this or whatever, because if both of those are filled in, that's the same thing as implying that it's just assuming this one isn't a mine. We then get this kind of structure we currently have now exactly 6 on this. I suspect this is probably fine though, because it connects up where it needs to, and it can go out into this space, which there really aren't many restrictions on. So it seems like that might be okay. I guess as an alternative, we can assume that this one is a mine, and then we can see that either way, at least this one has to be a mine, I guess. In this case, we then get that this one is not a mine. And, okay, so I guess there are 2 possibilities from here. One of them is this one isn't, or rather this one is a mine, which then maybe this actually possibility might be worth looking into. We'll just mark this one as blue for the other one. Because I guess what this would be really, if we were able to find an issue with this would just be implying that this one cannot ever be a mine. Which would be good. That would give us some information. So, hold on. Okay. Then in the red case, we could see all of this stuff is now used. We then know it has to go through here if it wants to go further, which we know it needs to. And
Okay, I guess it could go upwards, like through there, and that wouldn't be a problem. Or if it goes through here, it can't go into this one specifically, but it could go up like that as well. Okay, that might be more or less fine. And I assume the blue case probably doesn't do much to prevent any of these either. No, it doesn't look like it. Here's something else I could consider. What happens if we just put one, like, right here, for instance? I wonder if this cuts things off enough. Oh, yeah, it looks like it totally does. Yeah, no, okay, there we go. That one does what we wanted to do, right? Because, essentially, if we put one here, this just blocks off too many of our connecting squares. That's what it looks like. Yeah, I mean, you can see in the diagram, that's just what's happening. Okay, and we'll get rid of this real quick. Cool. Okay, so now then, I guess, where should we go from here? I guess it is still worthwhile to investigate if, now that we've done this, if, like, an assumption like this will change things, because it very easily could, to be honest. I'm also considering checking out that if this one fails, but here, let's see real quick. Oh yeah, no, it could just go out through here. Okay, I think it's more worthwhile to check out if this one can now be a non-mine or not. Correct, because then that gives us this. We then know it needs to go up through here. And it might be worthwhile to think about what happens over here, right? So first of all, it can either go through here, which then blocks off that and implies that over there, which isn't necessarily a problem. Or if it goes not through there, if it goes through like this group right here, then it, once again, I think makes it into that region fine. Something I'm wondering about is if it's possible to have it in this corner area anymore at all, or if what we've done over there has given us enough information to kind of rule this out. Well, I guess, no, not, I can't say that yet. It could still be up in this corner. But in order for it to make it out now, it needs to go through here, which needs to go through there. Then it needs to head up here. This 2 then needs both of these. But then by this 3, we need both of those as well. And, yeah, I'm not sure beyond that if this really does much, because like it looks like it still could make it out through here. Regardless, in this case. I guess something else we can real quick consider is just, maybe this is a worthwhile tack to look into. It's just like, if there's any like similarities between each of these cases. Well, no, it doesn't really look like it. Okay. Maybe it's worthwhile to think about what happens if there's something up here, right? Okay. So there's 2 possibilities. One of them is it goes up this way, which we'll just do right now. And the other one is it goes downwards through there. Okay. So if it goes through here, then we get this whole situation, which I think we've already drawn a few times, but, you know, I love erasing things. So then it needs to head upwards through here like that, go around this, go into here, and, okay, that actually breaks things. No, it doesn't. No, the 3 is still fine. Never mind. Okay. So that's one possibility, which also, we just know it isn't going to be that one because it needs to go out through one of these 2. Cool. Second case is the red one that I've outlined here. In this case, we know none of these ones are going to be mines, which all well and good. We also know that one won't be. It needs to leave, so it needs to go into there, which then gives us this. Cool. And now then, I guess it has 2 possibilities. It could either go through there or not. Either way, we're seeing that this one down here isn't a mine, but I don't think that this will really hold much beyond there. Unfortunately. But one thing I'm wondering is, well, it doesn't work necessarily for, well, no, I guess the red case, if we had one up here, it could still just leave through there, and then everything with the red argument works fine. I'm not sure. It might just be that I'm just not as good at this variant, honestly. Which is okay. But, yeah, it's a tricky time. Okay. Maybe instead it'd be worthwhile to look into if there are any 6 positions that don't work super well. Well, I guess I don't know why there really would be, but maybe there's something. No, I'm gonna abandon that track. That doesn't seem super worth it. Okay, maybe instead if we look into if there's something over there, if this causes problems, right? Because
this gives us some restrictions on what happens around here. Also actually just completely cuts off that, which maybe this is fine. It looks like it might be okay. Right, because I guess if there's one here, then we know it needs to connect up into here. So either way, this gives us neither of these ones are mines, which this actually makes me wonder. I wonder if it's something like this one just can't be a mine or whatever. Right? So let's just think about that. If this one here is a mine, then what exactly do we see? Okay. So first of all, we know this one can't be a mine because it needs to extend too far. And I'm not sure if this allows us to rule out these. It looks like it might actually make it fine. It seems like it's okay right now. But let's just see if we can find any other areas that mines would cause problems in. Right, so first of all, if we put one here, then we get that none of these ones are mines, which seems okay. Maybe. A tentative okay. Because I guess it's just wondering if this one's able to connect up properly with everything else, but it seems like it probably would. Okay, yeah, maybe it's worthwhile to think about this one's not mine. I'm not sure. This one doesn't seem like it might get much either.
No, not really. Okay, maybe that one being a mine isn't really a problem. I kind of figure the same thing's true here, but we can see, right? Because I don't think it can be both of these, can it? I guess maybe it can. I don't necessarily see why not. Okay.
What else is there here, really? Because, right, I
assume the Crocs is going to have something to do with the things that are, like, over here, probably, because we can't really get through it. Or maybe there was just some issue with, like, mines up here that I just didn't see, because we already know that if they were up here, we need to go through this kind of, like, walkway, I guess. And that just gives us all of this, which seems like it's okay. Yeah, I'm not really seeing a lot. Maybe it's worthwhile to think about if, like, this one down here can be a mine or something. Because, like, this area could also just be not feasible. Because then if we have mines in this region, we then know that there must be one over here, one over here, one in this group, one in this group. It seems like that one might be okay as well. We'll see. Yeah, I'm not completely sure about that either. Right, because we already know that this one over here works fine.
Maybe then it's worthwhile to think about if there's any, like, configurations around this 4 that don't work. Like, something like this, maybe. Because then we know that... Let's see, well, it can't really go down here because... Well, I guess it could.
I wonder if this would just be more implying that, like... No, I guess it totally could just, like, yeah, go through here and still connect up.
Yeah, no, this one is being very annoying right now. That's okay. Maybe this will be a good time to take a pause real quick. I don't think that I'll record the rest of it later, but I might take a break from this puzzle right now.
Alright, I'm back. I ended up just taking a short break. Mainly because I had been on here for almost an hour and tired times. So, anyway, the thing that I was kind of thinking about looking at this, at least, had to do with this. I'm not going to lie, I kind of have looked at this and realized what the actual problem was. I'll go ahead and go over it now. It's a difficult one to spot, but essentially it has to do with how this one actually leaves through here, right? So we can just assume some arbitrary method of leaving into here in general. Well, actually, probably. I guess in this case we can see, because there's really two possibilities. Either it goes up through here, or it goes up like, hold on, using this kind of setup where it goes up into one of these two. Either we can see this implies that that one's not a mine.
Right. So first of all, in the yellow case, then in order for this one to leave, we know it has to at least hit one of the ones in this region, so we can mark that as a non-mine.
But then we also get that since it's going up through here, because that's the only way it really can, right? Like, it couldn't, in the yellow case, for instance, go up this way or whatever. We then get that this one must be a mine, that one must be a mine, but you can see we've just completely blocked off this route. So that's no good. Now in the red case, if we try to do something like this again, we can just keep mine that one's always not mine. We run into the same problem. So we could try going in through here. But this actually just completely blocks us off. Ultimately, the idea is either way, this one can't be a mine. There we go. That one is hard to find in general. Not gonna lie, definitely was not gonna find it then. But yes, so there we go. That's where you would need to go with that and the reason why. Oh man, connected logic is a great time. Okay, so here's something else we can note though. Now we know that one of these two must be a mine because it needs to go up through here, so we can then mark both of these as non-mines. And that actually finishes off the... Oh my lord. Okay, hold on, we're gonna get back there real quick. I don't think there was a lot that we had to do to get back there, but that was an unfortunate misclick. So with this stuff, I think this was enough for this deduction to work. Yep, cool. So we can then fill in all those. I'm just going to click through these real quick. Cool. Okay. And we can also fill in that. I think this is more or less where we were. Yes, here we go. Cool. Okay. So I guess we can now consider a few possibilities. One of them is if this one isn't a mine. I think this just breaks things. Yeah, because then it can't get up through here because this one's not a mine, and that just disconnects both of them. So actually that just solves this region entirely. Very cool. And this might actually just more or less finish things for us. I wonder if I left just for like, essentially to come back here and immediately finish this. That's fine. This recording has been long beforehand anyway, as far as I'm aware. Or at least as far as I recall, so this should be okay. And these regions are already connected, so I guess if we had something like this, for instance, what would this imply? No, okay, this would break it then, right? Because we know it can't go this way, that would break the 4, it would require at least 2 in that region, so it needs to go up through here. But that requires at least 4 in this 3 region. So this one must be a mine, that one's not a mine. Now we have 2 more here, 1 more there. That means anything else is not a mine. Cool. And, okay, there we go. This should solve it for us, more or less. That needs to connect up. There we go. Cool. Alright. So that's, I think, what I'm doing for today on this game. Thank you so much for watching. Next time, we will probably continue with either triplet or negation. Not sure what side I'm feeling. Maybe I'll just... I don't know. It would be good for me to unlock some of these, because these ones are definitely a lot more difficult for me than these. I don't know. And you can, I mean, I guess multiple actually does have a lot of them. I was wondering, was it vanilla that only had 10 of them, or was it just early ones? I'm not sure. I feel like maybe I'm just misremembering this. I thought there were like a lot more of these where it was just like, oh, there are only 10 puzzles now. But it doesn't really look like it. Okay, maybe not. Never mind, I guess. But yeah. Next time, we're going to keep unlocking these, and maybe we will mess around with Ultimate Mode. I can actually real quick show you what my progress on that's looking like. As you can see, I've been doing some stuff. I actually did all these Ultimate because they're not too bad, and yeah. I've been a little bit busy with these. That's okay. To be fair, these make a like kind of nice thing to do like during classes if I'm just, like, to be honest, bored sometimes. Yeah, I don't know. Regardless, we'll see you next time. Peace.